I want to make this a pretty short episode. And so I have a big announcement today. I'm so excited to share this with you because it has been a long time, probably almost a decade long goal of mine that I have actually freaking reached. And I cannot wait to let the cat out of the bag. I also have an invitation for you. So if you're watching me actually live and not just listening to the podcast episode, you are likely seeing above the video that you're looking at a link. And in the podcast episode, we'll make sure that the link is there to invite you to hang out with me for the cash creation crash course that we're going to be doing in a couple of weeks. And so I want to start with that invitation. And I also have a powerful lesson to just share one of the biggest things that got me here. So I want to do that today as well. I'm also excited because I just got back from Cabo, and in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be headed off to Colombia. So when I'm in Colombia, I'm going to be doing one of my courage exercises. If you've been following me for any amount of time, you know that courage is a big thing for me. I have a signature talk, The Courage to Make Millions, that I've been sharing with people. And I work what I call my courage muscle, and I do what I call courage experiences that help me to do that, to lean into what's next for me. And so we're going to be going whitewater rafting, and I'm so freaking scared to do it, but I'm excited to have another courage experience on deck. So I am super duper excited to be going to Colombia for that. I'm going to be speaking at one of my dear friend Ron Reich's mastermind in Medellin, Colombia. It's going to be amazing. So first, let me start with this invitation, and then I'm going to share this amazing freaking announcement. So here's the invitation, and I want you to lean in and listen to me. Like, this isn't propaganda. When I look at the results that I've created in my life, every first half of the year didn't look like it was going to the way it ended, and it always ended well. When I crossed $1 million in my business, by the first quarter of the year, I was nowhere near on track to have $1 million business that year, but the second half of the year, gasoline, baby. We poured gasoline on it, not with hustle and grind, but with simplistic focus. And so what I want you to know and understand is that this year can still be your biggest year ever. It still can be that for you. And so what I'm doing is I'm going to be hosting a free cash creation crash course. Now, this isn't like a challenge. It is an actual course that I could pay for. I'm stretching it out to 7 days because I want you to be with me for an entire week, working the strategies that I teach you and learning from me as you implement, okay? So this cash creation crash course is designed to help you create momentum in your business, and so that you can finish 2022 with a bang, finish strong. I know that's like cliche to say finish strong, but I believe in this principle so much. There's still so much time to hit every single freaking goal you set for yourself this year. You can still do it. Now, why is this thing free? Like I said, I can definitely charge at least $1,000 for this. This is an actual course with actual templates and strategies and things that you will be implementing. It's not just, a free little thing that I'm doing that you may or may not get something out of. The reason why it's free is because I put this in a post. I have been experiencing blessing on blessing on blessings. Most of my programs, it's a minimum of $7,000 to work with me, right? I get that you may not always want to jump into that level. Also, for me, that's a threshold, right? I don't have any $500 programs or $200 programs. And even for this one, instead of charging you $1,000 for it, I'd rather just give it away. And so that is what I'm going to be doing. I'm giving out of the abundance of my heart. I'm showing up and I'm leading. And the reason why I'm doing that, and I'm going to put this up so to populate. This is where you go to letsmakemoresales.com to grab your seat for the cash creation crash course. Ooh, that has the wrong dates on it. I didn't realize that. I shouldn't be using that one, but it's all good. The dates are actually July 12th is when we kick off and we start. So basically sharing with you, like, I've been experiencing blessings on blessing on blessing. Here's what's required though. I'm giving this to you. My requirement is that you show up and play full out. This is not one of those things where you can opt in and go watch the recordings later. After the container closes in 7 days, everything gets deleted. It's all removed. You can't go back and watch the replays. So I'm looking for people who really want guidance and mentorship as they're going through this process. I'm in there with my team. watching all the videos that you guys are creating, there are some things that we are going to ask you to commit to before we even allow you in the container. And if you're inside of the secret location where we're going to have this, where we're going to lead this course, where I'm going to lead this course, and you're not following the steps, my team will remove you or I will remove you out of the group, because we want to hold the energy and the focus. We want committed people only inside of there. So if you believe that's something you can do, we're going from July 12th to, I don't know, whatever a week from that is. So 7 days, maybe around the 19th or the 20th is when we'll be closing out the container. I'll be training you every day for about 45 minutes. You'll have some break days in there so that you get the work done, even do some catch-up work. I'm going to have a bonus coaching call day where you can show up and I can mentor you. You can ask questions about what's going on with you and your business, what's happening while you're working through the challenge, and I can help you in that way. And I'm going to be revealing never be seen how I teach my 100K month blueprint. So a lot of this challenge I've done this crash course before. It was 4 days. I've added some things to it and made some shifts, but I want you to see what you can do when you have simplicity and focused intentional action. So go to letsmakemoresales.com if you would like to register for that and invite a friend. You can bring people to it. Let me give you just a quick breakdown of some of the things we're going to be focused on and why you don't want to miss it. We're going to kick off this powerful cash creation course on day one by showing you how to up-level your messaging and your offers and your mindset so that you can confidently bring in high-end sales in any season. It doesn't matter what's going on. We got people talking about a recession now. We got all kinds of things going on and people are getting panicky and thinking they have to shift things. That's not really the reality. I've lived through a recession already. I lived through a couple of recessions and I learned some big lessons from that. So I'm going to teach you what to do so that you don't get caught in the mass pendulum. And this is for you, even if you feel like you're not on track with your goals right now. Like I said, I've done this so many times where I've set a goal and I'm like, oh, shoot, I'm nowhere near. And I learned a trick about focus that allows you to continually create momentum into your goals, even when you feel like you're so far off, which actually makes it magical and more of a reality that you'll hit them. And then once we've up-leveled your messaging and your mindset, I'm going to reveal the high level strategy that we use inside of my company still today, and that our clients and students use to generate more revenue in a single quarter, month, day than many people do in an entire year. Only, can't remember the number, 25% of business owners ever cross the six-figure mark. Only 2%-ish ever crossed $1 million. And we're showing our clients how to do six figures in a month, six figures in a day, six figures in a quarter. And most people don't do that in a year. One of the most powerful shifts for me was the knowing, having the knowing that I didn't have to wait to make six figures in a year, and realizing that it was possible for me to create six figures in a day. Now, I'm not trying to put pressure on you to do that, but just being exposed to it anchors a seed, and that seed can be watered, thus beginning to collapse time for you as well. And we're going to talk about that during the crash course. And listen, I've done six-figure months and days sales again and again and again and again, right? I've collapsed it down to even a single sale. I've also collapsed it down to the point where I've collapsed time and I've moved from creating six figures in a day to now having had $1 million day using the same exact strategies that I'm going to teach you during this crash course. The beauty of this is no matter where you are in your journey, my cash creation strategies work. So you want to register, go to letsmakemoresales.com. I'm going to show you what's working now and what to focus on now on social media to find the people, to call in the people who are ready to buy, not the ones who are thinking about it or needing to learn what you do, the people who are ready to buy and will pay you top dollar, even if you're not a big name or if you have a tiny following. I crossed $1 million with less than 2,000 people on a mailing list. I crossed $1 million with 300 people in a Facebook group. Like I didn't have all the things people say. I didn't have a beautiful website. I didn't have all the things people tell you that you need to be doing. I wasn't on all the platforms. I'm going to teach you how to use the power of focus and simplicity to create momentum and make money in your business, right? Plus, Over the course of this challenge, you will discover the one thing standing between you and crushing your revenue ceiling, right? I want whatever's next for you, whether that's 6 figures a year, 6 figures a month, 6 figures a day, 6 figure sales. It could be anything else, your million, whatever that revenue ceiling is for you. I want it to become your new normal. So that is what we're going to be doing inside of the crash course. I'm going to be peeling back the curtains and giving you a behind the scenes look at some of the most effective sales strategies that I've ever created and that have ever been created and that I use. Plus, I'm going to be walking you through the full blueprint for consistent qualified leads and sales and my personal high-end strategies for 100K months that you can actually swipe. Okay. So 7 full days with me. Go to letsmakemoresales.com. I should have put a little runner up, but I haven't. That's it. All right. You guys ready for my announcement? Okay. So this happened the other day. I'm in Cabo and I wake up about 2 days before I'm going to leave and I get an email message from Shannon, who's my assistant, also a client, but my executive assistant. And it's a snapshot of a message that she got that said, and I'm going to read it to you because I want y'all to, I got my Pom Poms ready because I'm so freaking excited. I don't want to waste this water because I'm too excited to not be crazy with this. I'm going to read you what it said. Super proud of myself, by the way. Congratulations, Shameca Company has made the Inc. 5000 list of the fastest growing private companies in America. What? Yes! Inc. 5000. Do you know what that means? Out of all the companies in America, my company is one of the 5,000 that is the fastest growing, meaning having the most revenue from one point in time to another than all of the companies out there. I don't know what number I am on the list yet. I'm waiting on that. I was going to wait a little bit longer until I got that information. I don't have it yet, but I'm super freaking excited because this has been a secret dream of mine for almost a decade. I remember when I came into this industry and I would see some of the biggest names out there would have the Inc. 500, Inc. 5000 logo. And I'd be like, how did they do that? And then when I read how they did it, which I'm going to tell you what the qualifications are. When I read how they did it, my heart was like, how would I ever do that? Because you really have to make a large amount of revenue in a short period of time. So here's why this is such a big deal. I built this company from scratch. And when I say from scratch, I didn't have a small loan of $1 million from a family member. I didn't have good credit, basically zero money in the bank, needing to feed my babies. Just a dream and a knowing the purpose that God put in my heart and knowing that I was meant for more kept me going every day. The faces of the people that I serve, I could not see them, but I knew they were there, kept me going every day. This is a big freaking deal. It has been a secret goal of mine for over a decade. Like I said, let me share with you how you qualify. I think I have it up somewhere. So the qualifications for 2022 are that, let me see, do I have it up here? Oh no, it's on my phone. For 2022, in order to qualify for the Inc. 5000 list. So what happens is you apply for the Inc. 5000, you have to submit documentation from a CPA, a financial person, like a certified financial advisor has to sign off on your documents, your tax returns, all of that stuff has to go over. They review them. And so let me see if I can find it. How did I lose it? Okay, I'm going to guess a little bit. So in 2018, you would have had to have at least made $100,000. And then in 2021, you have to make over $2 million. So it's like a 5-year time span, at least $100,000 in the year one that they're looking at. And then $2 million in the qualifying year, over $2 million in the qualifying year. Yo, I did that. I'm cracking myself up, but I'm so excited. And so that's how you qualify. So you apply for the Inc. 5000, and then from the Inc. 5000, they weed out all the other people, and they pick the top 5,000 based on percentage of revenue growth. Also based on percentage of revenue growth, which is what I don't know yet. I don't know what number I am. You can be part of the Inc. 500. So if I end up being, which I'm not quite sure, I'm not feeling like, yeah, I'm an Inc. 500, but I could be. I don't know. They take the top 500 and you get an Inc. 500. So you have to first submit your application for Inc. 5000. And then from that, if your revenue percentage, like how fast you grow is how they look at it. Like you were here, now you're here. That's how you get into the top 500. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But that's like, it's a secret goal that I put stashed away in a journal and said, okay, gonna do that. And when the opportunity came to apply, I looked at everything and I was like, holy smokes, I think I'm ready. I'm ready. So I talked to Michelle, who's my CFO, had her gather up all the documentation and numbers, sent it over to them, and we did it. I am your girl. Shameca Company is one of the 5,000 fastest growing companies in America. Here is a big lesson that I've learned on this journey that I wanted to share because I told you I was going to give you a lesson today. And here's something that keeps coming up for me. I want to share this for all the chocolate girls in the room who are watching. I feel like every day I'm fighting for my position. You know, if I say I have $1 million business, people are constantly questioning. They're like, you have to submit documentation. I'm like, I got it, boo. Right? It's consistent. Same thing. eWomen Network. You have to submit documentation to get nominated for the Made It to $1 Million award. So I did all of that. So there's lots of people who will say they have $1 million businesses and they're talking about $1 million over 3 years, or $1 million over 4 years, or even $1 million over 2 years, but they haven't done it in a 12-month period of time. Multiple millions of dollars in a 12-month period of time. That's me. And here's the thing about being a chocolate girl. I've wanted this goal, not for the reason that I have it now, but I just realized that I was like, oh, as soon as I got it, I celebrated. And then I was like, oh, this legitimizes the fact that I have a multiple $1 million business. Now I have this proof, somebody else verified my documentation. And I'm like, where the hell did that come from? And it's just some of the undercurrent of what I deal with on a day-to-day basis as I move in this world as a Black girl with her dreads or sometimes her shaved head, right? As a Black girl in this world who is making moves in the top 2%, top 1%, right, of the world. Just one more thing to think about. But then I had to release it and say, this isn't verification of proof, right? My verification and my proof, I'm stamped by God. That's it. This is a goal that I had. I'm excited to accomplish it. I don't want to go on a search for more verification that I am who I say I am. I just got to know. And so that's what I want to share with you is take the knowing that you are who you say you are. Stop looking for validation from outside sources because you don't need them. You don't need them for your next level, right? Your stamp and approval is God. That's it. All right. All right. So the lesson. So one of the big lessons for me on this journey, I've had lots of lessons, but here's a big one. The one I want to share today is simplify. And so I want to share with you 3 things that I've simplified because I see a lot of people doing a lot of things. And I was you for a long time, exhausted, listening. Like people were like, you have to have this software to be legit and you have to do this and you have to do that. Not realizing that what people were telling me I needed to do was exactly what they were teaching. So they were trying to sell it to me, right? And some of those same people who were selling me the power of Facebook ads are now like relationship coaches. It's like the craziest thing ever to watch people shift. Like now they're a mindset coach because sales isn't working anymore or speaking on stages isn't work anymore or whatever the case may be. All of those things still work, but I just wanted to use some examples to share with you how we can get our minds caught up in doing all the things. There's always going to be a new platform. There's always going to be new strategies. There's always going to be new tactics, but business has been being done since before Jesus walked the earth, right? There's always been free market, a rate of exchange. People have been doing business with each other for generation upon generation and for millennia, right? Or for hundreds and thousands of years. And so with that in mind, what you want is a business that can withstand time, right? There's a reason why we still have I think we still have them. Yeah, because now they're P&G, Procter and Gamble, and lots of other companies who have been around for hundreds of years, right? There's a stability that you want. And that stability comes in the foundation, and the foundation needs to be simple. right? The house is built on a simple, I mean, there's stuff underneath it, but pouring the concrete and then all the fun stuff gets added, right? And that's what you want for your business. So I learned to simplify these three things that I want to share with you today. I'm going to talk about these more, especially in day one of the crash course when we do it. So if you haven't signed up, go to letsmakemoresales.com, but I want to share a bit about it here as well. So the first thing is my offers. The second thing is my marketing, how I get my messaging out there, and then my business model. And here's what I want you to understand. My offers, before I was doing all kinds of stuff and sharing many, many offers, and you can share multiple offers. But here's the thing that I don't think people understand. If you don't know how to sell the first offer, who you are and how you talk about offers isn't going to change by adding more stuff on top of it. So you really want to get to the point where you understand how to sell first, how to market first, how your messaging touches people's hearts and moves them first. Then be free to sell multiple offers because you know how. But just adding more stuff on top of it just adds more complication. And so I simplified my business to cross my first six figures and to be into multiple six figures to 2 offers. I now have 5. I have 5 offers. I have a couple of secret offers that you don't know about. And then like my main programs that you guys do know about. And I'm going to break down what they are right now, just really quickly. But I have 5 offers, right? I started with 2. I only had Play Big, and then the back end version of Play Big, which is now Next Level Authority, which was a continuation or a mastermind or a mentorship version of Play Big. Play Big was the jumpstart, 90 days, right? It was 6 months at one point in time. It's altered over time, right? That's what you do. You learn what works. And then there was Next Level Authority, which usually was still Play Big at one point in time. It was just Play Big, the extended version. And so that's how I learned what worked in my market and what moved my clients and what my messaging should be and how to make a post that would get people to raise their hands and how to go live and get people to engage and message you, and learning how to do all those things was from that. And then over time, I began to look at what was around me and then add more offers. So simplifying my offers, 2 really powerful money-making offers, basically a main offer and an upsell, or a main offer and a downsell will help, right? They're either going up or down. You can choose which way you want to go, but you have that meat and potatoes that you focus on. And then it's either an upsell or a downsell that people can have for working with you. The second thing that I simplified was my marketing. And for me, this is a huge point of contention because things still come up today where people are like, you should be on YouTube and you should do this and you should do all the things. And I had to get to the point where I realized that I needed to trust myself and do the things that were easy for me so that it was simple, so that I can do them with consistency. Because when it wasn't simple, I couldn't do it with consistency. And so Facebook became my number one platform, and that's where I spent my time. And so now that we've crossed $1 million in revenue and we are scaling the business and growing the business to the next level, now focused on 7 figures and have an 8-figure goal in mind to someday hit. One of the things that we're looking at is how can I expand it to other platforms? Because I know this platform like the back of my hand. I know how to create $1 million on Facebook, right? I've used Facebook to create $1 million with one program, right? One of the one programs that I started off with is $1 million revenue stream. So now we're doing that with the others. It's learning how to do the thing and then scaling, right? So really, really simplifying your messaging or your marketing so that you're not all over the place, because how I post on Instagram is not going to work on how I post on Facebook is not going to work on Instagram. And oftentimes, like my team, who sometimes helps me post on platforms, they'll post something that I did on Facebook on Instagram, and I just go delete it because I'm like, that doesn't work over there. It's not what those people are there for. And so having to have all these ways and methods of like how to show up on TikTok and how to show up on this place and that place, it's a lot. And it can be overwhelming. And that overwhelm can either stop you in your tracks or complicate things so much that you can't be consistent, right? You don't know where to be consistent, even with having the multiple offers. A lot of you may be asking yourself sometimes, like, when do I promote this? And when do I promote this? And how do I stop? And I still want to promote this big offer. And you get so confused about when to do what. When you simplify, if it's just 1 or 2 offers, it's very, very clear. You go here, and from there, you go here. You go here, from there, you go there. And it's just so you can learn. It doesn't always have to stay that way. Because once you get it down pat, it's just doing it again and again. And then the business model, which is kind of what I was just talking about now, knowing where the flow is. But the biggest thing about simplifying the business model for me wasn't just knowing the flow of my offers and having it simplified. I see so many people step out into the world, in the world of business, in the world of entrepreneurship. And one of the things that they're doing is they're hiring a bunch of team right off the gate thinking, oh, I got to have a salesperson, I got to have a VA, and I got to have a this. I crossed $1 million with me and a part-time assistant. That's what I did. And as I saw what was coming, like right at that point, we hired an additional coach and some other things because I knew that I couldn't handle more people in a program. So we revamped some things. Now we have a team of like 12, 15 people, some contractors, right? But that's been over time filling the gap so that I can do the things that I need to do. I didn't start off that way. We think sometimes hiring all these people, I used to think that too, is going to make me all this money. And so I hired assistants really wrong in the beginning. I've had people take money from me and never deliver things again and again and again, from copywriters to VAs to all kinds of people. And I was like, what is happening in the world of these people that they do this again and again? And what I realized is it wasn't the people, it was me, because I was so unclear about my business model and where people were going and what I needed people to do, that delegating to them was a moot point. I thought they were just going to do what they do and it was going to create magic and they were going to help me create all the programs and all the things that needed to go with it. And I see this happen again and again and again. It's like, oh, I hired a salesperson. I'm going to have a 6-figure launch. No, because if you don't know how to coach and mentor the salesperson into being with your clients, like whenever I hand a salesperson my clients, now most of the time I'm in tears. I'm like, I'm handing you my people, right? And I need you to understand how I engage with my people. Here's the strategies that we use. Here's the systems that we use to bring people from this point to that point. So really not jumping in head first with a whole complicated, now you're really a CEO of a company and your time is supposed to be spent not in the business, but working on the business as a CEO. You put yourself in that role too early because you don't really know how to lead the team in the way that they need to be led in order to take you to what's next. So sometimes you got to roll up your sleeves, do it with a skeleton crew, know what you need to do it first yourself, and then delegate, right? So really simplifying the business model. So I'm going to give you those 3 things again, and then share with you how this big lesson changed things for me. So I simplified my offers. I simplified my marketing. I simplified my business model, which also helped me with the overheads because I didn't have the stress of cracking a nut. And I still don't have that right now. My business operates at 41% profitability, which is huge because 30% is great, right? And so there's not the stress of like, I got to make this much money, or if clients leave or go, I'm not like dying on a vine and stressed out I got to make sales fast as ever. I got to do a quick offer or something like that. Complexity is the one thing that will kill your business growth faster than anything else. And again, I watch so many people start their entrepreneur journey to create something different than what they had experienced being an employee or in their corporate career or working for someone else, only to end up hustling hard, grinding it out, running around like a chicken with its head cut off, hoping to leverage their time someday based on all the decisions that they're making, building out extravagant teams, thinking that is the key to business growth, and it is a lie. What happens is you inevitably end up working long hours and becoming a slave to the machine that you created, a machine of your own making, a machine of your own devising. And you keep trying to do the same thing to get out of it. The thing is this: I have helped clients over and over and over again do exactly what I've done. Radically simplify their already successful business and give themselves a whole lot of time freedom. So much so they're sometimes calling me going, I feel like I should be doing something. And I'm like, you don't need to do anything. You've done everything that needs to be done. It gets to be easy. That's a mantra that we have inside of my communities. Like I said, complexity is the one thing that will kill your dreams faster than anything else. So I want to give you an opportunity to get access to the simple business model and simple business plan that Shameca Company used to become one of the fastest growing companies in America, to hit that Inc. 5000 list. No fancy marketing, One of my coaches said this to me one time. It was really funny. I'm like talking to him. He's like, so how do you do this? Like all the stuff that I do? Because my numbers are incredible. Small, tiny community, active buyers, people that are bought in. But again, I'll be revealing a lot of this on the and during the crash course. He said, so you built $1 million business with Facebook Live and with Facebook live streaming in a journal. And I was like, basically, if you put it that way, absolutely. So not a lot of technology, none of those things, not a giant list, no multi-week marketing or launches. You don't see me like, I'm selling this and I'm selling that. It's exhausting. Like even one time, another one of my mentors said, hey, if you want to make $10 million, why not do, 4 game on lives a year? And I was like, it's a hell no for me, Bob. I'm not going to do it. It's exhausting. I pour my heart on game on live. So we do it once a year. It's a powerful time. It does what it's supposed to do. It changes lives. We get to make money in the process. I don't want to diminish it by doing it over and over again. And I don't want to be exhausted. So you don't see me doing these multiple launches over and over and again, just trying to make money and just building this machine, which is what you hear a lot of people talking about when they are like, oh, you don't want to be $1 million business owner, because most people who are making $1 million are exhausted because these are the things that they do. And I want you to know that you can have a multiple $1 million business simplified. Same strategies I used to do multiple 6 figures, I used to do multiple millions. I still use them now. You can look at my page right now. Same things I teach, I do. And they work, but I'm consistent with it. And I know what I'm doing. There is strategy behind it, right? Simplicity, and it's strategic. I'm intentional and I'm focused and I do what I'm supposed to do. And then I get out. I'm not like churning the hamster wheel and running around like a chicken with my head cut off. And what I'm sharing with you, the business model that's ultra focused and ultra simple, is the difference between me working 60 to 80 hours a week. Some of you guys work more hours than I do for less money. Right. And then me being able to work 20 to 25 hours a week, maybe 30 to 35 now that we're building out the team and I'm having to spend time training people and jumping on calls and doing things like that. But I'm hoping to get it back down once we bring on an operations manager, which we haven't done yet. But we're in the process of doing that. And my question to you is, if you look at how you work now and the fruits of your labor and where you want to go, a lot of you haven't crossed into $1 million. Let's say you're at multiple 6 figures because you're exhausted at multiple 6 figures and you just can't see how. And there's an energetic threshold. There's an energetic threshold inside of you that says, no way, Jose, we're not selling anymore. We're not doing anymore. So no matter how much you want it, it's not going to come because inside of you says no. Your subconscious says, it's a no for me, Bob. And so you won't do it. And so until you can simplify and really relieve some of the pressure off of yourself for how you're showing up to create the revenue, creating your business, you won't sell. And so when I hear people say, everybody doesn't want $1 million business because most of those people are stressed out, it doesn't have to be that way. It gets to be whatever you choose and however you decide. And that is the question I have for you. What do you choose for your life and your business? Complex or simple? Again, I'm going to be breaking this down during the crash course. And as a matter of fact, what I'm saying is so simple, you'll find yourself saying it can't be that easy. And what I want to tell you, love, is that I promise you that it is. So I'm going to put this up one more time, even though it has the wrong dates. It's actually July 12th is when we're going to do it because I wanted to populate the Cash Creation Crash Course. This is your invitation. Again, I could charge for this. It doesn't mean that it's less than powerful because I'm not charging, but there is a commitment requirement from you. You will get all the details, including the secret location. If you go to letsmakemore.sales.com, you can register, spend 7 full days with me, actually creating momentum into the second half of the year, like literally generating leads and creating clients using simple, focused strategies while learning some of the behind the scenes of the sales system that I've used to become one of the fastest growing companies in America. That's it. That's what I wanted to share today. One more time, celebrate with me. Your girl made the Inc. 5000 list. I am one of the 5,000 fastest growing companies in the United States of America. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I'm going to take off. I'll see you next time. Bye. Thank you so much for watching my show, my channel. Here's what I want you to do. If you really love what you've been listening to, I want you to subscribe to my channel and leave me a comment. No, really, leave a comment, like right now. I'm not gonna stop talking until you leave a comment.
seriously, leave a comment.